This Black History Month, we're spotlighting trailblazers in cybersecurity and cryptology who have shaped the world in extraordinary ways. From breaking secret codes to safeguarding national intelligence, their work not only changed the course of history, but continues to impact how we protect information today. Stay tuned as we explore their journeys and lasting influence in this crucial field. Welcome to Cyber Chats, a podcast made by the National Cryptologic Foundation. I'm your host, Kennedy Taylor, and together we'll be demystifying the world of cybersecurity by talking with amazing cyber enthusiasts like you, as well as industry professionals. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Before we dive into today's episode, let's take a moment to set the stage. Cybersecurity and cryptology aren't just modern buzzwords, they've shaped the course of history. At its core, cyber is protecting digital systems from cyber threats, while cryptology is a science of encoding and decoding information to secure communication. In fact, cryptology is a key pillar of cybersecurity today. But long before the internet, before computers, code making and code breaking were already changing the world. Think about this. During the Civil War, both the Union and the Confederacy relied on encrypted messages to send military strategies and desperately tried to intercept each other's secrets. In 1917, British intelligence cracked the Zimmermann telegram, a secret communication from Germany to Mexico that decryption helped push us into World War I. And by World War II, breaking enemy codes became a game changer. The ability to decode Japanese and German messages gave us a major advantage both on land and in sea. But deciphering hidden messages wasn't just a wartime necessity. It became a full-scale national effort. In 1952, President Harry S. Truman established NSA, bringing together the best minds to build cryptographic systems that would protect America's secrets and expose those of its adversaries. Yet, even as the country grappled with racial discrimination and segregation, African Americans played a critical, often overlooked role in shaping the cryptologic landscape. Despite barriers, Black codebreakers and cybersecurity pioneers left a lasting impact on security, and we'll get to explore that today. Let's dive into the story of our first remarkable figure who helped shape the world of cryptology and cybersecurity as we know it. Bernard Pryor. His story isn't just about codes and ciphers. It's about breaking barriers and paving the way for future generations. Let's rewind to 1930, when the Signals Intelligence Service, or SIS, was established within the U.S. Army. Its mission? To create secure military codes and in times of war, crack enemy communications. But as tensions escalated in Europe and Hitler invaded Poland, the U.S. knew it needed to ramp up its cryptologic efforts. By 1939, SIS began expanding, hiring civilian personnel to strengthen its wartime operations. And in November of that year, a 39-year-old African-American Navy veteran and former motorcycle messenger named Bernard Pryor made history. Although the War Department's official documents didn't reflect, Bernie became the first African-American hired by SIS. At a time when segregation and discrimination shaped every aspect of American life, including the military, Bernie stepped into a world dominated by secrecy, intelligence, and innovation. Initially hired as a messenger, he worked tirelessly to support the growing cryptologic efforts, and he wasn't alone for long. As the war progressed, more Black Americans joined the agency, bringing expertise in linguistics, cryptanalysis, engineering, and mathematics. But many, like Bernie, were first assigned as messengers. By 1943, Bernie had risen to become the senior messenger, leading a team of 15. His contributions, along with those of other African-American cryptologic professionals, were critical to the agency's wartime mission. Yet, despite their impact, these pioneers remained in the shadows of history until now. Our next honoree is a man whose leadership and determination helped redefine what was possible for African Americans in the world of cryptology. William Bill Coffey of Abingdon, Virginia. Mr. Coffey's journey started with humble beginnings. He studied English at Knoxville College in Tennessee, and like many Americans during the Great Depression, joined the Civilian Conservation Corps to make a living. But his story took a groundbreaking turn during World War II, when he was hired by the Signals Intelligence Service, or SIS, as previously mentioned, in 1942, not as a cryptologist, but as a junior janitor. But Mr. Coffee wasn't just any worker. He was a leader in the making. By 1943, he had been promoted to messenger, and before long, he became head messenger. And then in June of 1944, he did something completely unheard of. He led efforts to recruit 100 African-American cryptologists to work at Arlington Hall, marking a pivotal moment in the U.S. intelligence history. His title shifted to cryptographic clerk, but his influence was far greater than his job description. Later that same year, Mr. Coffee stepped into a leadership role that would shape the future of cryptology. He was appointed assistant civilian in charge of B3B, leading a team of 19 civilians with a top secret mission to exploit commercial coded messages from around the world. These weren't just any messages. They came from Great Britain, Germany, Spain, Turkey, Afghanistan, Russia, China, Japan, Egypt, and beyond. At the height of the war, you can imagine that this intelligence was critical to our national security. And under the War Powers Act, his team was granted access to raw messages from U.S. cable carriers. Their job and the point? To identify code books, decipher encrypted messages, and unlock valuable intelligence. Within B3B, 3 additional African Americans led sections that made history. Annie Briggs led the production team, identifying coded messages and managing clerical support. Ethel Just led a team of translators, decoding messages in multiple languages. And Herman Fines led the technical team, responsible for breaking the codes, work so critical that Herman would later become the NSA's first African-American office chief in the operations directorate. For Mr. Coffee's excellence and exceptional leadership and groundbreaking contributions to cryptology, he was awarded the prestigious Commendation for Meritorious Civilian Service in April 1946. His work alongside his team was instrumental in shaping the field of intelligence and securing America's wartime communications. Truly an icon, a trailblazer, and a name that deserves to be remembered. As World War II ended and the world entered post-war era, African Americans continued to break barriers in cryptology. And one name that stands out is our next honoree, Carroll Robinson. The year was 1948, a time when racial segregation and inequality were deeply embedded in American society. The racial divide was so stark that even the New York Times openly criticized the U.S. Army for upholding a pattern of bigotry. Yet, in the midst of discrimination, a groundbreaking moment took place at the National Security Agency. Carroll Robinson was hired as its first Black engineer. A graduate of Howard University with a degree in electrical engineering, Robinson was no ordinary recruit. He joined the agency's research and development team, an elite division tasked with pushing the boundaries of technology. His mission? To help build Abner 1, NSA's very first internally developed digital computer, a system that would revolutionize intelligence operations. Unlike many areas within the NSA, R&D was unique. It was one of the few divisions where African Americans worked alongside their white colleagues, on high-priority projects no less. Robinson's expertise, innovation, and leadership made an impact beyond just technology. He was laying the foundation for greater diversity in intelligence and national security. His contributions didn't stop there. Over the years, he continued to rise through the ranks, ultimately achieving another historic milestone. Carroll Robinson became NSA's first African-American senior executive, retiring as an office chief. His legacy? A trailblazer who not only helped shape the future of cryptology, but also paved the way for future generations of Black engineers and intelligence professionals. Our next honoree, Charles Matthews, broke barriers in the world of electronics and computing, paving the way for African Americans in cryptology. A lifelong Washington, D.C. resident, go D.C., Matthews took a bold step toward his future when he became the first ever student to enroll at Hilltop Radio Electronics Institute, a pioneering Black-owned school dedicated to training African Americans in electronics. This education would set the stage for a groundbreaking career in national security. In 1948, Matthews joined the Army's Cryptologic Service at Arlington Hall as an engineering technician in the Research and Development Division. His early work involved dismantling equipment, but his talent, determination, and sharp mind quickly set him apart. Before long, he found himself in the heart of a revolutionary project, Abner 1, as we mentioned, the NSA's first internally designed digital computer. As one of the few African Americans on the project, Matthews played a key role as a project engineer, helping develop the cutting-edge computing technology that would transform intelligence operations. But his impact didn't stop there. He later contributed to Solo, NSA's first transistorized special-purpose computer, helping push computing to a new era. Matthews' contributions and leadership propelled him through the ranks, where he earned supervisory and middle management positions, a significant achievement during a time when opportunities for African Americans in national security were still severely limited. His decades of dedication and innovation were officially recognized in 1986 when he received the Meritorious Civilian Service Award, one of the NSA's highest honors. After 40 years of groundbreaking work, Charles Matthews retired in 1988, leaving behind a legacy of perseverance, technological innovation, and progress. His story is a testament to the brilliance and resilience of African Americans in cryptology, pioneers whose contributions shaped the digital worlds we rely on today. Our next honoree, Miss Wilhelmena Ware, was a true leader, not just in cryptology, but in education, accessibility, and inclusion within the intelligence community. Her remarkable journey began in 1949, when she joined the agency as a card punch operator. But Miss Ware was destined for more than just data entry. By 1952, her leadership skills earned her a promotion to a supervisory role, where she made history in a way that few could have imagined, teaching the agency's first hearing-impaired employees in an extensive key punch course. This wasn't just a job, it was a mission. Miss Ware had a passion for education, and she took that passion to new heights when she became a computer science instructor at the National Cryptologic School. There, she introduced students to computer systems operations, helping to shape the next generation of cryptologic professionals. But she didn't stop there. As she rose through the ranks, she became the chief of the Learning Center, where she championed accessibility initiatives, including launching the agency's first sign language course, a groundbreaking step towards a greater inclusion. And in 1980, she broke new ground yet again, this time by spearheading the creation of the agency's instructional television program, working alongside the University of Maryland and George Washington University to bring cutting-edge education to intelligence professionals. After more than 4 decades of dedication, Wilhelmena Ware retired in 1993, leaving behind a legacy of education, accessibility, and progress that still resonates today. Her story is a powerful reminder that innovation isn't just about technology. It's about people, about breaking barriers, about making intelligence work for everyone. Our next honoree, James Pryde, wasn't just a cryptologist. He was a trailblazer whose career spanned from the battlefields of World War II to the highest levels of U.S. intelligence. Pryde was among the invisible cryptologists, a name given to the many African Americans whose contributions to cryptology went largely unrecognized for decades. But make no mistake, his impact was monumental. Before he was breaking codes, he was making history as a radio operator with the Tuskegee Airmen, the legendary all-black fighter squadron that shattered racial barriers in the military. Then in 1950, Pryde began his career with the Armed Forces Security Agency, the precursor to the NSA, as a communications clerk. But he wasn't just any clerk. His rare ability to interpret automatic Morse tape caught the attention of his superiors, leading to his reassignment as a telemetry analyst in signals analysis, a highly specialized role in intelligence gathering. Pryde's career skyrocketed from there. He spent 2 years working with the staff of the Assistant Secretary of Defense, providing critical insights on security operations. By 1978, he was leading the Defense Special Missile and Astronautics Center, or DEF-SMAC, as its director, playing a key role in monitoring missile and space activity during the height of the Cold War. At the same time, he contributed to the Guided Missile Astronautic Intelligence Committee, influencing some of the most crucial intelligence strategies of his era. His leadership was undeniable. In 1980, he became NSA's representative to the Department of Defense, and by 1981, he had assumed the role of Assistant Deputy Director of Administration at NSA, a historic achievement. In recognition of his extraordinary contributions, James Pryde was inducted into the NSA/CSS Cryptologic Hall of Honor in 2006, solidifying his place among the legends of cryptology. But Pryde's legacy wasn't just about intelligence and national security. It was about people. He was a passionate advocate for African American employees at NSA, working tirelessly to promote diversity and inclusion within the agency. Even after his retirement in 1981, he remained dedicated to preserving history, serving on the board of the National Cryptologic Museum Foundation, and ensuring that future generations would never forget the challenges and triumphs of Black cryptologists. His story is one of service, leadership, and resilience, proof that even the invisible cryptologists were in fact some of the most important figures in American intelligence. Our next honoree, Calvin Brown, may not have been a codebreaker, but his impact on cryptology was just as vital. He wasn't deciphering enemy messages, he was building the very foundation that made intelligence operations possible. Brown joined the National Security Agency in 1951 as a tabulating machine operator, working with the massive computing machines of the time. But his true talent lay elsewhere. His expertise in drafting caught the attention of his supervisors, and soon he transitioned into facilities management, a move that would shape the NSA's physical and technological landscape for decades to come. When the agency relocated to Fort Meade, Brown and his supervisor took on a monumental task: designing the floor plan and orchestrating the transfer of key machine processing equipment, everything from printers and sorters to collators and card punch machines. This wasn't just about moving boxes. It was about ensuring that NSA's intelligence operations could continue seamlessly in a new, state-of-the-art environment. But Brown didn't stop there. He played a crucial role in pioneering raised flooring for computers, a now standard design in data centers that allows for better cooling, wiring, and maintenance of critical systems. His innovations helped modernize how the NSA managed its ever-growing arsenal of computing technology. After more than 30 years of service, Brown retired in 1982, leaving behind a legacy not just of infrastructure, but of innovation, precision, and progress. His contributions remind us that behind every major intelligence operation, there are visionaries building the systems that make it all possible. Our next honoree, Miss Lily Berry, wasn't just a pioneer. She was a force of determination, breaking barriers and laying the foundation for future generations at the agency. Her journey began in 1956 at Arlington Hall, where she took on the role of a clerk typist in the Signals Analysis Unit. But Lily Berry wasn't content with just typing reports. She wanted to understand them. Immersing herself in the specialized terminology, she sought out analysts, asked questions, and built her knowledge from the ground up. Her dedication paid off. Enrolling in a signals analysis course, she mastered the fields of complex concepts, and by the early 1960s, her expertise was so undeniable that she was asked to teach introductory material, making history as the first African-American woman in the agency to do so. But she didn't stop there. In 1968, Lily Berry shattered another barrier, becoming the agency's first African-American female recruiter, a milestone that opened doors for countless of others. And perhaps her most lasting contribution, she founded the Career Information Center, the foundation for today's Career Resource Center, ensuring that future generations had access to the guidance and opportunities they needed to succeed. After more than 3 decades of breaking down barriers, shaping careers, and forging a path for others to follow, Miss Berry retired in 1988, but her impact lives on. Her legacy is one of resilience, leadership, and empowerment. A reminder that progress is driven by those who dare to learn, to lead, and to lift others as they climb. Our next honoree, Ralph W. Adams Jr., forged a career that spanned the front lines of war, the highest levels of intelligence, and the fight for diversity and national security. A University of Nebraska graduate, Adams began his journey in 1961 as a linguist with the Army Security Agency in Vietnam. His near-native proficiency in Vietnamese made him an invaluable asset, and by 1965, he had joined the NSA as a language analyst. His expertise led to multiple deployments back to Vietnam, where he played a crucial advisory role to both the U.S. Army and the Army of the Republic of Vietnam, or ARVN. Then, in one of the most dramatic moments of his career, Adams was among the last NSA personnel to evacuate before the fall of Saigon in 1975, a moment that marked the end of an era, but marked his rise within the NSA. Over the next 2 decades, Adams climbed the ranks, proving himself as both a strategist and a leader. From 1985 to 1988, he served as Chief of Legislative Affairs, bridging the gap between intelligence operations and policymakers. By the late 1980s, he had led a major overseas liaison office and played a key role in modernizing NSA's operational structures. His exceptional leadership earned him both the NSA's Exceptional Civilian Service Award and the prestigious Presidential Rank Award of Meritorious Executive in 1987. As a senior leader in the Directorate of Operations, Adams spearheaded a groundbreaking restructuring effort that became a model for intelligence agencies, optimizing analytic resources and fostering collaboration in ways never seen before. His impact was so profound that by 1990, he was named NSA's Inspector General, and just 2 years later, he took the helm of NSA/CSS Pacific, overseeing intelligence operations across the region. But his highest achievement came in 1995 when he became Executive Director, the second highest-ranking civilian at the NSA. Beyond his operational influence, Adams was a passionate advocate for diversity. Recognizing the need for greater representation in intelligence, he was instrumental in launching the Stokes Educational Scholarship Program, a transformative initiative aimed at recruiting talented minority students into national security careers, a program that continues to shape the intelligence community today. When Adams retired in 1996, he left behind a legacy of service, innovation, and inclusion. His extraordinary contributions were recognized with the National Intelligence Distinguished Service Medal, the highest honor in the intelligence community. His story is a testament to the power of expertise, leadership, and a relentless drive to shape a more inclusive future in national security. Our next honoree, Floyd Weakley, wasn't just a brilliant cryptanalyst. He was a trailblazer whose impact on both national security and diversity and intelligence continues to be felt today. In 1965, Weakley arrived at the National Security Agency as a young mathematician in a specialized cryptanalytic training program. He quickly proved himself to be a force in the field, tackling some of the most complex cryptographic systems used by U.S. adversaries. By the 1980s, he wasn't just solving puzzles. He was leading a high-level team tasked with deciphering sophisticated enemy codes. But Floyd Weakley wasn't satisfied with just cracking codes. He wanted to rewrite the playbook. While analyzing an advanced crypto system, he noticed unusual systemic characteristics that others had overlooked. His discovery led him to develop innovative cryptanalytic test procedures, one of which was so significant that it bears his name to this day. Over his career, he authored or co-authored 23 technical papers, shaping the future of cryptanalysis and mentoring the next generation of analysts. Yet, his influence stretched far beyond mathematics and cryptology. As a technical director and advisory board member, Weakley was a relentless advocate for inclusion in national security. He championed initiatives that transformed NSA's recruitment and support strategies for minority employees, paving the way for a more inclusive intelligence community. His commitment earned him the NAACP's Roy Wilkins Renowned Service Award in 1996, a testament to his dedication to progress. His impact was so profound that one colleague later reflected, Floyd Weakley left behind a career of footprints which are daunting for any single person to fill. What a statement. In 2017, his extraordinary contributions were formally recognized when he was inducted into the NSA/CSS Cryptologic Hall of Honor, cementing his place as both a pioneer in cryptanalysis and a champion for change. His legacy is one of brilliance, leadership, and the unwavering pursuit of progress, both in the worlds of cryptology and in the fight for opportunity and inclusion. When we talk about breaking barriers in national security, few names shine as brightly as Minnie McNeal Kenny. A Philadelphia native and a graduate of the prestigious Philadelphia High School for Girls, Kenny's career began at the Commerce Department before she moved to Washington, D.C. to work at the Census Bureau. But it was at the National Security Agency where she would leave her most enduring legacy. Hired as a communications clerk, Kenny quickly proved she was destined for more. She earned a coveted spot in an intensive training program, which prepared her for a trailblazing career as a linguist, specializing in cryptanalysis and traffic analysis. At the height of the Cold War, her expertise in all other or non-Soviet, or ALLO, target exploitation made her a key asset in national security. Over her remarkable 43-year career, she steadily climbed the ranks, taking on roles once considered unreachable for African Americans, let alone for African American women. She shattered glass ceilings as a Deputy Chief of Analytic Support Division, Division Chief in the Office of Techniques and Standards, Deputy Assistant Director for Training at the National Cryptologic School, NSA's Director for Equal Employment Opportunity, fighting for a more inclusive and diverse workforce. But Kenny's impact didn't stop at the NSA. She took her advocacy nationwide, serving on the Congressional Task Force on Women, Minorities, and the Handicapped in Science and Technology, shaping policies that opened doors for countless underrepresented professionals. Her groundbreaking work earned her the NSA's highest honors: Meritorious Civilian Service Award in 1980, Exceptional Civilian Service Award in 1984, Meritorious Executive Awards from Presidents Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush, and the Distinguished Service Award from the Director of Central Intelligence. By the time she retired in 1993, Kenny had reached the prestigious Senior Executive Service, or SES-5 level, an extraordinary achievement that solidified her place in national security history. And in 2009, her legacy was officially recognized with an induction into the NSA Cryptologic Hall of Honor. A trailblazer, a leader, and inspiration, Minnie McNeal Kenny didn't just work in national security. She transformed it. She opened doors, she lifted others, and proved that change is possible even in the most complex institutions. Her story continues to inspire those who strive to break barriers and redefine what is possible. When it comes to strategic brilliance and unwavering dedication, Brigadier General Neal T. Robinson stands as a true force in military intelligence. From the moment he secured his place at the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1970, it was clear that Mr. Robinson was destined for leadership. His career took him to some of the world's most high-risk conflict zones, where he shaped critical intelligence operations, including South Korea, monitoring key geopolitical developments. He was taken hostage during the infamous Iran hostage crisis, facing intense adversity. Panama, Italy, and Germany, where he strengthened intelligence operations across the globe, and the Pentagon, Texas, and Maryland, where he rose through leadership ranks with multiple leadership roles. But one of his defining moments came during the Kosovo War, where he led intelligence operations for European Command. In this high-stakes role, every decision he influenced had real-world consequences, shaping strategy, protecting troops, and ensuring the success of U.S. and NATO missions. Even after retiring in 2005, General Robinson's mission didn't end. He pivoted to the private sector, bringing his expertise to Oracle, where he saw new opportunities to fortify national security in an era of cyber threats and digital warfare. A decorated intelligence officer, a hostage survivor, a battlefield strategist, a lifelong protector of national security, Mr. Robinson's career is a testament to the power of resilience, strategy, and service. His story reminds us that leadership isn't just about rank, it's about impact, and his impact, undeniable. Leadership is more than just authority. It's influence, wisdom, and the ability to inspire. Our next honoree is Command Sergeant Major Odell Williams, and he embodied all three. Described as an extraordinary soldier and a charismatic leader, his impact wasn't just felt by those under his command. Even flag rank officers, the highest levels of military leadership, looked to him for guidance, integrity, and strategic insight. When Lieutenant General William Odom led the NSA, he personally chose Mr. Williams as his senior enlisted advisor, later admitting that Williams' counsel was more valuable than words can express. But Mr. Williams wasn't just a leader. He was a visionary educator and strategic architect. He revolutionized cryptologic training, cutting the review cycle by 2 years. He accelerated curriculum updates by 60 days, ensuring faster adaptation to emerging threats. He developed groundbreaking ELINT and fusion intelligence courses, shaping the future of military cryptanalysis. He pioneered virtual training at the Naval Technical Training Center, an innovation ahead of its time. He secured congressional funding for critical ELINT training programs. His strategic foresight didn't just enhance military education. It revolutionized the way military cryptologists were trained, preparing them for modern cyber warfare and global intelligence challenges. For his unparalleled contributions, Mr. Williams was inducted into the NSA/CSS Cryptologic Hall of Honor in 2016, a fitting recognition for a leader who reshaped military intelligence. A soldier, a strategist, a mentor, a force for change. Mr. Williams didn't just serve, he transformed the field of military cryptology. His legacy continues to shape how we train, lead, and how we defend our country. And our last honoree. Imagine being responsible for protecting the most sensitive communications in the U.S. government, from the White House to military operations around the world. That's exactly what Debora Plunkett did. With a career spanning over 30 years, Plunkett rose to the top ranks of the National Security Agency, leading groundbreaking cybersecurity initiatives at a time when digital threats were evolving faster than ever. As director of the Information Assurance Directorate, she oversaw a global workforce, managed a multi-million-dollar budget, and spearheaded cutting-edge cryptographic and cyber defense strategies to keep the nation secure. But her impact wasn't just in technology. It was also in people. She was the first ever senior advisor for equality at NSA, driving change in diversity and inclusion. She was a trailblazer for women and minorities in the intelligence community. She still today is a champion for systemic change, ensuring a more equitable future in national security. After decades of federal service, she didn't slow down. She launched Plunkett Associates LLC, advising organizations on strategic security solutions. She now teaches cybersecurity at Harvard's Belfer Center and the University of Maryland, sits on boards of JCPenney, CACI International, and Nationwide Insurance, and leads efforts to protect U.S. elections from cyber threats as the founding member and chairman of the Defending Digital Campaigns. A cybersecurity pioneer, a champion for inclusion, a force for national security. Debora Plunkett's story is proof that leadership isn't just about expertise, it's about impact. I'm so glad you were able to join us today. What an incredible group of historic figures. The trailblazers we've highlighted weren't just breaking barriers, they were building the foundation for the cybersecurity and cryptology advancements we rely on today. Their resilience and leadership have shaped the very systems that protect our nation. But their impact isn't confined to history. As we celebrate Black History Month, we recognize that their contributions continue to influence the present and inspire the future. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder that progress in national security and technology is driven by innovation, perseverance, and inclusion. To the trailblazers of cybersecurity and cryptology, past and present, thank you. To the future leaders listening, honor the past, learn from it, and remember to push forward. Because understanding where we've been is the key to building the stronger, more secure tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. We hope this conversation sparked your curiosity and got you excited about the world of cybersecurity. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with fellow cyber enthusiasts. Have a question or a topic you'd love us to explore? Connect with us on CyberChat's podcast page and join the conversation. Until next time, stay curious and keep the cyber chats going.